Okay, so we're going to talk about Fred and ice cream machines. Yesterday we did talk, though, about something called the Iberian Peninsula. And it is, if this is Spain, it doesn't look like this, but there's Spain. And there's Portugal. That's Portugal. You can't tell it, but it is. Then a peninsula is what covers land. So it's land that's covered entirely by water, but not all of it. So here, this connects up here to France. So in Europe, you have Spain and we have Portugal, and there's water here, but it connects up here to France. So this is called a peninsula. Yes. And the Iberia is then around there. Okay. Then Fred wants you to know about this. Ibex. And what it is an animal. Doesn't that look like an animal? It kind of looks like a goat to me, so it doesn't even... Okay. So an Ibex is a mountain goat with long horns that curve backwards. They're not in Kansas. They're in Europe and Asia and northern Africa. And it's called an Ibex. Okay. And Alexander, Fred's friend, realizes that he is using words like this. He uses I-beam. He uses Iberian Peninsula. Ibex, the goat. And there's a pattern here. Can you see what it is? It's I. So, yeah. What does that have to do with math? I don't know. Ask Fred. Okay, now we're going to talk about ice cream machines. Ice cream. Okay, I can write better than that. Ice cream machines. Yum. Okay, so we have the kind that have a crank on them and you turn it at the handle. We have the kind that are kind of like a bucket and they have a cord and they plug in. And then we have giant ones that are called industrial. This is a hand crank. This is an electric. And these are ice cream machines. Okay. Now, Fred goes to the store. This is the store. Fred is inside the store, and a salesman comes up to help him. And the salesman wants to know if he can help Fred. And Fred is all excited because he's going to be the keynote speaker at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And he's going to talk about ice cream. The speaker says, "Oh dear, it's 2:15 right now, and you have to talk at 4 o'clock. You don't have much time. Now, we could sit and we could wonder, well, how much time does he have? Well, we could do 2:15 to 3 o'clock is 45 minutes, right? I wrote too big. Okay. So that's 2:15 to 3 is 45 minutes. 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock is 1 hour. And so we would know that Fred has 1 hour and 45 minutes because we added these two together before he has to talk. So that's how we could figure that out. Okay, so back to the ice cream store. Fred is standing there, and the salesman says, do you want a hand crank? Do you want an electric one? Do you want... Oh, that's only two choices. He's only going to give him two choices. The second question was, do you want a red one, a blue one, a brown one, a yellow one, or a green one? How many choices is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 choices there. And then he asks him what kind of exterior. Exterior is what the outside is made of. Do you want a wood exterior, a metal exterior, or a porcelain exterior that looks like your bathtub? Okay, and that is 1, 2, 3 choices there. The next question is, do you want a one that serves one person, 2 people, 5 people, or 800 people? And so that is 1, 2, 3, 4 choices there. And then the fifth question, do you want one that uses rock salt, or one that has its own freezer unit, so it freezes it itself? And then the sixth question is, do you want the ice cream machine delivered, or are you going to take it with you? That's 2 choices there. That's 2 choices here. And let's see what we got when I clear my screen. So we had on the model, whether it was hand crank or electric, we had 2 choices. We had colors. We had 5 choices. 3, we have exteriors. We had 3 choices. 4 was how many people, and we had 4 choices there. 5, we had how we're going to freeze it. That was with the salt or the ice, salt and ice, or one that does it itself. That's 2 choices. And how we're going to get it there, we had 2 choices. Either Fred takes it or it's delivered. So now we have 2, 5, 3, 4, 2, and 2. So now the question is he's got all these choices to make. How many choices does he have? How many possible different kinds of machines could he have if he had, chose the hand crank, chose a blue one, made it wood for one person, one that uses the rock salt, and for 2 people. So that's one thing for each of the 6 categories. That we chose a model, a color, exterior, a people, how we're going to freeze it, and how we're going to get it there. And you then write down what your options are here, and then you can multiply this out and see what the answer is. So let's do that. And so we had 2 times 5 times 3 times 4 times 2 times 2. That was all our possible choices. We want to see how many total combinations. So that's 10. That's 12. That's 4. Add in my multiplication. Multiply 10 by 12. I have 120 times 4. 120 divided times 4 is 0, 8, and the answer is 480. You could have done this right here on lattice and multiply it if you wanted to. So remember, when you got a bunch of choices and you're trying to figure out how many possible combinations, you have to multiply. Okay? Now, let's say that Fred wants to just make it a simple choice, and he just wants to choose what model he wants, a crank or electric. So that's 2 choices, and he's just going to worry about the 5 colors. So that's 5 there. And now how many possible choices does he have? And again, we have 2 times 5 equals 10. If he wants to add in the exteriors, that was 3. That was wood, metal, and porcelain. We could do 10 times 3. And we're going to have 30 possible combinations with just this one, and this one. Excuse me. Okay, so your first question on your turn to play on page